Dear friends, are you ready to be caged? This video today is highly controversial and it's going to upset people. And quite frankly, as we sit back in 2021 and we see what the COVID-19 has done to the world, or rather what the reaction of the humans has been to the COVID-19, we have to ask ourselves some questions. Where are we going from here? Now, first of all, let us examine how this whole scenario arose. We went on to pause, reset, lockdown, whatever you want to call it, some weeks ago when I made my video, Are You Ready to Be Reset? Well, what happened was the procedure was extended because naturally the COVID spread. So more and more people were coming down with the COVID, testing positive and so forth. So the government felt it necessary to institute stricter measures to control the public. So what happened next was people in high up positions were driving around on the weekend when there was no commercial activity supposed to be going on, and they saw cars on the road. So they asked themselves, where are all these people going? And that was the basis now for a 48, or I don't know, I haven't even counted the number of hours of curfew, dusk to dawn curfew, starting from 7 p.m. tonight and ending on 6 a.m. on Monday morning. And anybody found outside of their residence during this weekend is liable to be shot on sight. No, dear friends, that's in your future. That hasn't come yet. For now, they're going to carry you and haul you before the courts. They're going to put it in the newspaper, and they're going to essentially send you to an already overcrowded jail that also has or had a coronavirus problem. Dear friends, we have to be pragmatic about these matters. We need to step back and philosophize as to where the human race is headed. Dear friends, this is not a video broadcast to contravene government mandate. I have no intention of venturing out, and I'm not about to encourage other people to venture out either. What this video broadcast hopes to do is examine what is happening in the world and in society in particular. What has happened is, dear people, that since the days of the Bible and since the Dark Ages and since we have come into the enlightened era now, where we have the massive, marvelous medical machinery, all sorts of problems have arisen from this. Every time anybody gets sick, they immediately seek a doctor or a hospital. And that mentality, coupled with the fact that government pays for the whole thing if the person can't pay, has created a massive ongoing problem for society. And the fact that they have now instituted the whole medical marvelous machinery has been enshrined in legal mumbo jumbo, so that if you don't go and seek medical care or try to assist in getting medical care, you become criminally liable, particularly if the person is underage or an infant. Dear friends, yet, abortion. Babies are murdered legally every day. Let's not forget that all over the world, babies are being murdered even as I speak, and absolutely nothing is being done about it. It's being done with the blessing of not only the medical establishment who's making money, but it's being done with the blessings of the legal establishment. Presumably, it's the best way to control the population and avoid murder the innocent babies. We can't shoot the people on sight when they come out in the street, so murder them before they even come out of the womb. Easiest way to dispose of the problem. Dear friends, the problem is really sin. But that is the mechanism of another video. Today we want to really examine what is going on and what's in your future if you live long enough. Dear friends, the whole situation, if indeed the conclusion by the government is correct, people are simply not obeying a nice, polite request, and they are going about their business oblivious, and as the government believes, spreading the virus. Now the government is concerned about the spread of the virus because these people who get infected with the virus, if they should really get sick, are going to end up in the healthcare system and are going to burden down the healthcare system and expense the government and probably ruin it even further than it's already ruined. Dear friends, this is a problem in society right now. Successive generations of democracy have made the public believe that the government must do everything. You blame the government if you lose money. You blame the government if you die. You blame the government for every blinking thing you can blame the government for. And the government, unfortunately, takes the blame and tries to do something about it. I don't know how this came about. And the subject of that could be another video. But dear friends, it has created a massive problem. And the only people benefiting from this whole situation of the whole thing is the lawyers and the doctors. If you have a child, let it become a lawyer and a doctor. When was the last time you saw a poor doctor? Get into the medical machinery and you're guaranteed a good life. Get into the legal machinery and likewise your life is assured, because somebody is sure to litigate against somebody every day, right as we speak. But dear friends, we want to even step further back from this scenario. We want to return to the plains of Israel tonight. I urge you to look up in your Bible when an angel of the Lord slew 185,000 Assyrians in one night. Dear friends, have you even stopped to consider what it might have been like to be living not only in 5000 BC, but what it might be like to be living in more modern times, before the age of artificial life, which is what we're now living. We are all living an artificial life. And don't fool yourself, we are not living like how previous generations lived on the planet. Within the last 150 years or so, developments have taken place which has altered the way that humans live on this planet forever. So we are no longer living the natural human life. We are living an artificial life, where we are living in an artificial environment. We are being fed artificial food. We are being given medications to cure the problems caused by the artificial food, and so forth and so on. Dear friends, think. That's all I'm asking you to do today. Think. Dear friends, rebellion is in the heart of every human being, including me. And it's also in the heart of the government, it's in the heart of the prisoners, and it's in the heart of you. Dear friends, it may not erupt into outright civil disobedience, but it's there. Now, if it is true what the government is saying, that people are just driving all about socializing left, right and center on the weekend, then the lockdown for 2 days, Saturday and Sunday, where you can't leave your residence, may seem like a good idea. But what is it actually going to accomplish? That's the problem. It's certainly not going to take away the rebellion. And it's not long enough to cause any big change in the coronavirus numbers. They're going to just get they're going to increase anyway. So exactly what does the lockdown achieve? What does it do? Well, it gives the government a sense of control. It gives them a chance to test, can they really control their population? It's about a big stick. Can we really make the people do what we want them to do? And if they're successful, then you can expect more of this in the future. Because have you ever given a beggar $10 and he's not come back for more? If they find that closing the country down and confining every individual to their house without the need to shoot them if they come out, then this is going to be used again. I don't know when. It may be very soon. It may be they'll try it again next week. Or they may wait and use it in another circumstance later on. But it will become a tried and tested way to control the public in the minds of government. Dear friends, I'm not trying to, as I say, I'm being pragmatic. You're going to disagree with me or you're going to agree with me. I'm not trying to institute civil insurrection. I'm merely examining human nature, which a lot of people don't bother to think about. Okay, so how could it go down this weekend? Well, it turns out a successful government and all the roving soldiers and police find nobody to arrest or nobody to charge or prosecute or whatever. And government concludes that the exercise was totally successful. Which means they will use it again whenever they feel the need to use it. And but what is it actually going to accomplish in terms of actual coronavirus? It can't cure the virus, it can't stop the virus, and immediately people are allowed to mingle again, the virus is going to go right on spreading. So the most it could do might be to buy them a 48-hour window where they hope to see whether cases go down or don't go down. But the problem is, you see, I sympathize with the government. Don't think that I don't sympathize with the government. They have a big problem dealing with all these people who are turning to them when they get sick. So it's really, when you look at this thing, it's really a tangle. What would my solution be? You don't want to hear my solution. Because my solution is radical. I never approved of the marvelous medical machinery in the first place. Doctors have been the bane of my existence and the curse of my life. They have not really helped me very much. The medications have all created problems for me, and I had to take a stand in my own life. I had to reckon with the fact that the scripture says that the flesh is subject to the spirit. People don't sit and realize that in order for Moses and Christ to take a 40-day fast, which is medically impossible, some absolute miracle of God and change had to take place in their body so that they could do a 40-day fast and survive. Now, the other thing that people don't seem to realize is that the mind has a great deal of effect over the body. Somehow chemical reactions take place in the body, and there's a credible amount of evidence that you can heal yourself with your mind. So the medical machinery is basically a lie. They're interfering with your body chemistry at the lower level. And the big problem with all of the medications that they're doing, when they interfere with one thing, it creates a problem somewhere else. So that once again, I'm not going to be charged for encouraging you not to go to the doctor. You can run to the doctor, you can spend all your money on doctors, or you can make the government spend the money for you if you're too poor. But for myself personally, I am praying to my God that I will die a natural death. I don't wish to be cut up. I don't wish to be operated on, and I don't wish to swallow pills. Therefore, I would prefer to stay home and die. Dear friends, you are going to have a hard time with that. So, feel free to partake of the drugs. You'll only have to take more as you get older. My mother died, she was swallowing like 10 pills on a nightstand. 10 different pills who were all interacting with one another and creating all kinds of problems. And other people have died chopped up in the hospital in intensive care, keeping them alive, maybe hoping they'll recover. That's not normal living. Normal living happens on the plains of Babylon. That's where normal living happens. On the plains of Babylon in 3000 BC. If you were wounded in battle, you either lived or you died. Your body either recovered or it didn't. What the government should do but can't do is completely reverse this whole thing. Remove the legal thing, get rid of the medical machinery, simply bury the people, put them in a truck and bury them. Have you ever watched Logan's Run? Dear friends, have you watched this movie? It's called Soylent Green. It's an ancient movie made well before the days of special effects. And I think you need to watch this because it's very, very relevant to the times, okay? Soylent Green. Watch it today. Now, dear friends, before I go, I just want you to understand that this is coming in your future. Now, the reason why I'm so sure this is coming in your future is because the world in 2021 is not the world around the time of the bubonic plague or the Great Fire of London. The world in 2021 claims to be civilized. The world in 2021 is filled with doctors, big pharma, hospitals all over the planet. So the idea of saying, don't worry to cage the people, don't worry to lock down, don't worry to institute coronavirus protection measures, just let them die, just let them get sick and die. I mean, it's a good thing actually, from a human point of view, it's a good thing, because the weak die out, the strong live and become immune, and the human race benefits from it, okay? What's the point of keeping all these weak people around on drugs and putting them in hospitals that don't make no sense at all? And furthermore, don't look at me and tell me that this is not a biblical viewpoint. Because Christ himself said, it is the Spirit that giveth life, the flesh profiteth nothing. But we're not living in 2021 as if the flesh profiteth nothing. We're living in 2021 as if the flesh is everything. And furthermore, dear friends, in addition to pampering the flesh, we are engaging in all manner of sin with which God is not pleased. Sin everywhere. The priest sins, the churches sin, the public sins. And they're not taking it seriously. They're not taking it seriously, dear friends. And this is the reason why these things happen. And as far as the coronavirus is concerned, it ain't going to be the last. It's the first of the plagues. So, dear friends, today I'm getting you acquainted with your future. Get ready for being caged. Remember the first episode, the trailer, the premiere of Star Trek back in 1966. Captain Kirk was put in a cage by the aliens. And the one thing that people cannot stand, I mean, at the end of the movie, the aliens were surprised. Humans just don't like to be caged, even when they're in pleasant surroundings. Dear friends, consider the birds and the monkeys. They're actually more luckier than you or me right now, you know. Nobody's bothering with them. Nobody's caging them. They are free to roam about the planet and die or live at the hands of God. Nobody sees the monkeys or the birds suffering like people in hospitals today. Dear friends, take a stand and say, I've had enough. I've had enough of 2021, and I'm going to take a stand against all the society and the artificial life that we have in 2021. Dear friends, stand up today and be counted and say Stephen Mendes is right, and watch my next video, What is the Fate of the Damned? Thank you. See you in the next video.